Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. After a long time, I have decided to complete this playlist and will be making this project alive. And I hope some of you message me that when I'm going to continue this remaining playlist. So yeah, I'll just complete this. I think it is December. By the end of this month, we'll be completing this, and I'm going to make it a robust, more cleaner, and it's not going to be a prototype kind of thing. It's going to be a usable application which anyone can do some white labeling, and they can use their name and they can use it. Okay, so this is the backend code I have had left around 4 months ago. If you see my previous video, you will see exactly these are the files, exactly these are the folders and structure. So what is left? Okay, so I also told you that there is going to be much more routes for the authentication. Earlier, what we did just to keep going on, we just made simple sign up and login controller, right? So one is for the sign up, one is for the login. But yeah, and one more thing, that IDE I'm using is Windsurf. So there is cursor, there is Windsurf. You guys can pick anyone because it makes your work very easier when it comes to the time. So it just basically saves your time a lot. So I have decided to go with this Windsurf, and yeah. So in this video we'll be making the auth route. So now you will be thinking, what is left? Okay, so there is much more which is left in this authentication route. Let me just show you. So from past 2 to 3 days I was working on this routes. So these are the routes which we are going to make. Okay, and please pay good attention to this video because this will clear your whatever the doubts you have related to the authentication, because this is the main thing which you do for the application, because this is the entry gate. If you do not make your gate structure properly, then your applications security will be, not be that much strong. So it is not just sign in and sign up. There are much more things you need to make sure. Like for example, in this sign in route, there is this access token, there is this refresh token. I'll just tell you what is the difference between these two. Just keep watching this, and some of the small detailing like expiry of the particular token, and there will be a sign up route as well. Let me just show you if I hit this. So yeah, this is I think it is not running. These are the routes which I have in my Postman, but these are not created in this, in this particular folder, because this is what I worked, which is another project, and I have that in the another repo. Okay, just because this is what I have worked on, and now this is I'm going to explain to you guys. So that's why this we got this error. Okay, it by running our first thing npm run dev, and then it should start on the localhost 8000. Okay, so what we will do, okay, so I think we should define first a schema for the prisma. Okay, so if you see in my earlier videos, we only had a user. Okay, and we didn't have the extra keys which we need, but now we'll need those keys. So I'm going to define one by one. So let's say underneath of this phone, I basically need is email verified. Okay, it should be boolean, default should be false, and I need that email verification token. It should be a string, optional, and as well as email verification token expires expiry, or I'll just say, okay, just let me cut this, verification expires. Okay, it should be a date time. Okay, so this is now created. Now the next thing that we need is the reset token. Okay, reset token. Okay, it should be a string, as well as we need reset token expires. Okay, and another thing I am going to have is last password reset. Should be a date time. Let me keep it. Okay, last password reset date time, as well as let me just add last login. So these are the extra fields that I am adding, and we might not use this. We'll add these fields. Okay, I'm talking about this like this. These are like we are going to require right now. These are needed. Okay, and again I'm adding one more column. So key. So it will be account locked, because I want to have that feature as well where an admin can lock the account, or we'll add some set of conditions where user does a specific thing, then we want that user to be locked for certain amount of period. And again I'm going to have a two-factor enabled. It should be boolean and then default. And let's add here two-factor re-secret. Okay, string optional. Yeah, it is also a good to have. Okay, and I think we are done with this particular user model. So what we need right now is another one table. So, and for that to have, we need a model. Okay, once we have this model, if you clearly see that how we are defining a table name, and it is the underscore, it's called as snake case. Okay, so you can have any, like camel case is fine, capital case you want to keep, just keep it, but make sure it is structured. So I'm going to have refresh underscore token. Okay, so yeah, and yeah, let me just add a tab. Let me verify id, we require it. Okay, token, yeah, we require it. Okay, and I'll just have created at and expired at. It should be a date time. Let's remove the expired. Keep it like this. Updated at. Wait, let me copy paste this so it will help us. Okay, it basically suggests us that what it should be. Okay, and I'll add here one more thing, which is index, and it should be a user ID. So, and also we'll need to add a user relation here. So I will just add user. Yeah, it is now suggesting us user relation field should be user ID, references ID, and let's say if we try to delete it, I will need on delete, and it should be, let's say, cascade. Okay, so refresh token, let's add the relation over here, like refresh tokens relation. uh let's add this user refresh tokens. Okay, even if we do not add, it will not matter like this, but it will keep this giving this errors to us. So let me just remove this. Okay, so I hope you got this schema. Okay, so let me review this again. So if you can see, what we added here is email verified, email verification token. So basically here it will be a boolean where we'll basically check that what we are basically like giving a user basically a sign up page. So once users sign up with any email, we are not verifying at that particular moment. We are basically letting user enter in our application. This basically reduces our you know uh, efforts, and also it is also easier for user to just get into the application. Sometimes what happens, user don't have their email right now, user don't remember their emails right at that moment, but user wants to explore the application, right? So we can restrict user to do some basic like we can restrict user to do some operations such as bookings. We can restrict user until the email is verified, but we can let the user in and see the cars and see the features of that particular car, the availability of that car, right? These are the things which are the basic features which user can explore in our application. So that is why I have added this is email verified flag. So once user enters, the is email is already a default as a false. So once email is verified, then it's going to be a true. Okay. So that is why we need this particular boolean. And how this will get true? So basically, once user login, the verification token is null at that particular point of time, right? But let's say an email went to the user's email. Okay. So something like this will go to the user along with the link, along with the token. Okay. Now once user click this particular link, what will happen? Using the deep link into the React Native will open the application from user's phone, and it will handle all the validation part. And once that is done, we'll make this is email verified as a true, and we'll give this particular token and update it to this particular key, which is email verification token, right? And also, uh, this link user cannot use after certain amount of time, because we have given restricted this link for a certain time. Let's say in this case we have restricted for 6 hours or 1 hour. So after that this link will won't work, so user have to resend it. So these are the things, small things which are makes the application robust and good application. So along with this, we have this reset token. So if you have seen when we log in, so we are sending the reset, we are sending the refresh token and access token, right? To reset that, as well as we have this particular key. The last password reset. I don't think we are going to use this because I have not added this in this particular video, and as well as this last login and account logged in. We'll see in this after some videos, or we'll see it in some another feature. And this two factor will also be the later part of this video. So let's move on for the next part. Okay, if you can see now, it is running on this particular port, localhost 8000. Okay, so what I'll do, if you can see on my right side, there is this pg admin. On my left side, I'll just keep the postman. So just to check if it is running properly, I will add here another request. Okay, and let me just add the local host 8000, and it should be running properly. Okay, so yeah, what is next? So as we have defined the key, so there should be now changes that we need to do in this particular folder. Let me just close this middleware, and come to the auth route. Okay, so whatever routes that we are going to write, it is going to be in this particular folder, like file. Okay, so now I need to do some changes in the sign up route as well as sign in route. So I'm going to rename it. Uh, okay, sign. Okay, so I wanted to make it similar to the sign up. So the similar route is sign in. Okay, if it is login, then you can just keep create account or anything. Even sign up is fine. So okay, so now after this, I'm just going to keep open another screen and just go to the validate sign up, and over here we are going to make some changes. Like, so I have pasted a code over here. If you can see, I'm just going to explain because it is going to take a lot of time just to write this validation. I'll just explain you one by one. So here is some constant that I have written, such as password minimum length, anything that you want. Password rejects, if you can see over here, this is the rejects that I want, which means that uh, a letter should be a capital in the password. There should be a special character as well as one numerical value, and the length should be 8. So this is the password rejects, and this is some specific to the country, like Indian phone number. So this is the kind of rejects I have added because I live in India. So you can add as per your country needs. As our project is going to be a global project, so in the later part we can customize this particular thing from the admin panel, where the user will have visibility to choose the country and based on that country the phone numbers rejects will get applied. So in India we have 10 numbers for phone along with 91, and yeah, it starts from, I think it starts from 6 to up to 9 value for the phone number. And this is the validate function which I have written. You will get to know about this once I tell you how I have used this. Let me just tell you what it does. Basically, it validates request, response, and the next. Okay, so whatever the errors we get this validation result from Express Validator, as you know that we are using this. Okay, and if there are no errors, so basically the errors will be an array, and if there are no errors, then we are just passing it, like we are saying that hey, there is no errors, you can move on. And if there are errors, then we are uh, yeah, we are making it array by this method. And basically there was this particular method, if I'm not wrong, is empty. Okay, so this is the method we get on the errors object. And if there were no errors, then we are saying that there were no errors, you can move on. And there is another method that makes this errors as an array. Then we are basically mapping it, and we are basically taking this path as a key and error dot message as a value. And whatever we are getting, we are just showing this 422 as a validation status code with along with the JSON. Errors will be the array, and these are the extracted errors. I'll tell you how it will look like in the Postman. So I hope you understood this much code. Okay, and let's move on. Earlier, if you see, we had a very less code for the validation, but I wanted it to make it much more robust, so I have added and improved this code. So this is called as a validate signup. The name is similar, and I don't need to tell you that what it is, because I have already explained you. This is the body. Full name will be the key, and we are basically removing the white space out of it, and then we are basically checking if it is not empty. If it is empty, okay, so this message will be shown, full name is required. Okay, but if it is not empty, there is something, but there is also limit like minimum 2 and maximum 50. Okay, name must be between 2 to 50 characters. And okay, again there is one regex which I have applied, that name can only contain letter, space, hyphen, and apostrophes. Okay, and next thing is email. So again the trim is it should be non empty, like non, there should be no any such a space like left and right space. There should be, if it is having space, then email is required. And is email with message, please provide a valid email. Let's say I added number after the at the rate, then it is not a valid email. And we are basically this applying this method which is normalized. Basically what it does, if you hover over it, it basically makes it a small case and everything as a normalized, so there will be no such errors like cases are not matching, then it is going to throw error. Same for the password. If you see, I use this constant that the length should be 8, and there should be this password must be at least, we are using the constants as well. And again the country, again same thing is going to written over here. Phone, I told you that I have used this Indian phone rejects, you can use any country's rejects, and this is going to be configured by the admin panel that we are going to make. And then this is the role. So if you clearly know our project structure, then we are using 3 enums: user, vendor, admin. User is the one who is going to use the application for renting the cars and buying the cars. Vendor is the one who is going to supply all the cars or sell the cars. Admin is basically the one who has the access for this too. That admin can configure, manage everything for this user and admin. Basically admin has, and basically we can configure as per according to our needs. Admin can block a user, admin can restrict a user, admin can delete user account, vendor account, each and everything. Basically admin is like super admin. Okay, he can do anything, and it is also configurable that what power we need to give to the admin. And this is invalid role if the user is able to take or choose any other role. Basically he would not be able to choose because it's going to be a drop down, but even if he tries to manipulate something via HTML, he's going to get an error. Even if it is a small case, he'll get an error. because we need similar to like the capital case, uh, which we have defined in our drop downs value. And yeah, so validation middleware, if you can see, this is basically an array, and there we are basically writing a function, and basically we are writing if everything goes well then next. And here we are using this validation result from express validator, and here is the param which we do not need right now, but we'll need it. And if there are errors dot is empty, if it is not empty, then we are basically telling that hey, validation failed. Okay, and let me see where we are using it. Okay, so we are not using it into this, but we can use this. Okay, over here we can use this function, and here it will work properly as well. So if you can see, for the login, what we need the email, we need the password, that's it. Email, again we are checking, and the password which is required, and again we are saying validation failed, and we are basically showing that error. So what I'll do, I'll just save this file, and we will just come to this auth route. If you can see, I'm going to this particular file, and this validation sign up is showing up over here, and the validation login. So nothing changed except this auth validation file. So the next thing, let me just tell you if the server is running properly. Yeah, if it is running, let me just tell you. Yeah, so you check that our car API is running properly, right? So now let's try to validate the sign up. Okay, now I'll go to this sign up route, and I'll just try to hit this. Let me just hit it. Okay, email already exists. So let me do one thing. Let me change this email type. Yeah, so it is now showing it is failed. Let me just make the password. Okay, remove this, and let me just add this. Okay, validation failed. If you can see, password is a field. Password must contain at least one uppercase letter, one lowercase. So it means that our validation is working properly. If you can see, let's say I want this particular condition to work. So the name should be, let's say, less than one, or one less than one. So name will also get error. And let's say country, let's say phone. Okay, instead of 10 numbers I can give 9 numbers. So phone's error will also get thrown. Even in the sign in, if I just try to hit this, because I have already user for this particular email, so let me just use a password which is something like this. Yeah, invalid credentials it is showing. Okay, so the validation part is done. So let's try to optimize and write the sign up controller. So let's go over here. Let's you know let's go to the sign up service first, and then we will see what we can do. Okay, so over here we are doing the taking this full name, email, password, country, role, and phone number, right? So 3 and 3 6 fields we are taking as a parameter. So basically what we will do, we'll need to change the code for it. So if you can see in the curly braces we have something. So I will do one thing. If you can see, let me just write over here, we need to like normalize each and everything. Okay, so I'll just write normalize email. Yeah, it is showing the suggestion email dot two lowercase as well as trim. I don't want any white spaces to give any errors. And let me just uh, give a tab. I want the AI to give me some suggestions over here. Const normalize phone trim dot, yeah, trim is fine for it. And again const normalize full name. Yes, const normalize country dot trim. Const normalize role dot trim. Okay, now once this is done, so what we need to do, I'm just going to remove this particular code because we are going to write it in such a way that it is optimized. Okay, so it is giving us some snippet, and I exactly wanted to write something like this, but there are some changes I want to do. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll just write existing is equals to, okay, what we'll do, we'll just write something like this. We'll just do await promise dot all, and now we'll try. Yes, Prisma dot find unique, where email is normalized and phone is normalized. Okay, and once this is done, yes, so existing user by email, existing user by phone. Okay, so user by phone or existing phone. Okay, it is just fine. Existing phone, existing user, something like this should be fine. And existing user, yeah. So if this is happening, so I want that there should be two errors. So I'll do one thing. Existing user is there, so I'll just say, I'll just change this message. An account with this email address already exists, and this an account with this phone already exists. Instead of this, let's write registered. Okay, now let's write over here validate roles. Validate in this three bracket, this square bracket. I'm just going to have this particular rules, but make sure that it is capital case. Vendor should also be capital, and admin should be, yes. And now I'll write the condition that, again, this AI suggested condition, validate roles dot includes, okay, normalize role, which is this particular role, then we will show invalid role specified. Okay, something like this. Okay, it should work properly. And again, this hash password I'm not going to change except this one, uh, because you know that in the validation, let me show you here, in the validation sign up, the passwords min length is 8, right? So let's come over here, sign up service, and you can decide as per your needs. So I'll pass 12 over here. Okay, so if you can hover on this particular method, then it will give you the salt as per your needs. Okay, salt is the length to generate or salt to use. So I just given here 12. You can give any value over here, and let me just go below, and let's write user over here, and let me just write again, wait, we already have this particular code. I'll just do one thing. Yeah, so now let's write over here, yeah, this snippet I wanted. So prisma dot user is fine, but there is something called as transaction that we are going to perform. So it is something like it will combine all the actions and will write into the database at one particular time. Okay, so what we'll do, user await prisma, instead of let me just cut this code, prisma dot transaction, yeah, this transaction. And once I wrote this transaction, let's write async operation, and async should be tx, and then let me just write this. Let me see if your AI can suggest it. Yes, something like this. Yes, and yeah, here instead of a user, because we are now getting a user which is new, so I'm just writing over here new, and let me just again read this: normalize full name, normalize email, password, country, or the role, normalize phone, as well as we need something over here which is email verification token. Okay, over here token, right? uh, let's see. Okay, we don't have token right now. Let me just write this later. So over here, if you can see, let's return new user. Okay, and this new user will have this particular value. So after this, instead of returning a normal user, I will just return over here id user dot id full name, as a yes. Okay, this I wanted to write. Let's remove this particular thing, and let me just add a comment over here that why we have written this, because we want to return a user but without password. You can return the user, but you have to destruct, take the password out of that. So I didn't want to do that, so I just wrote it one by one. It is lengthier. You can write a shorter code for this as well. So let me write one thing over here. If you can see, we are not using a catch and try block over here. So for that, let me just copy this and try over here and paste it over here, right? And then catch. And let me try to format this particular code. And once I have wrote this particular code, the throw should not be just throwing this particular error, but let's add a condition error dot code p2002. So here let me just write something, a user with this email already or a phone already exists. Okay, so this is a particular validation which we get from the error code. So which is basically a validation error. Basically, if the email and the phone is already existing in the database, then it's going to throw the error. And basically over here, we will throw that particular error if the condition is existing, and otherwise just a normal error, whatever the error we had. And once we have added this try and catch block, I wanted to write some code for the generation of the token. Okay, so we will write some function over here to generate a token. So generate token, let's say email verification token. Okay, and for that we are going to use some package. So let me just remove this. Yeah, crypto package. Yeah, the crypto, I already have this particular crypto package. You need to install it. Okay, let me just remove this particular line and come over here and write const token, and here write crypto dot random bytes 32. Hex is fine. Expires, just write expires instead of at. So new date dot now. Let me just write over here a simple new date, and let me add over here expires dot set hours. I need to expire it at some particular hours, and expires dot get hours plus 24. Okay, and just return this, and now we can use this particular function. So if you can see, we have some fields in our this particular table user, right? So we will do one thing. Let's write a comment. It will generate email verification token. Yeah, the suggestion was absolutely right. And over here, email verification token would be token, email verification expire should be the time, and is email verified? Let me just see. Yeah, we have this particular field. Okay, at the moment we have that field, so I'm just going to make it false. So basically, when user signups, so what we are basically telling to the basically telling to the database that hey, this user is not verified, the email is not verified for that particular user. Okay, and we are just going to return it same to the um, sign up controller. So phone was there already, so we need to write, let me pick the ID we need to return, the phone or the email, and the full name is required. The country is not necessary, I'm just going to remove. The role is I'm going to have it, and status should be user dot status. Okay, as well as I need the email is email verified is yes, and as well as created at as well as verification token and expires at. Yeah, it is also fine. Expires at, even if we not give, it is fine. Let's give it. Okay. Now, once that is done, now the sign up service is improved properly. Okay. So we need to, use it in a such a way that, user can see it, the response properly. So this is the sign up service. We are basically passing all the things, and yeah, let's test this out. So go to the sign up, and let me now fix this. Okay, so here let me write my name. Okay, let me write my email, and let me write a good password. Okay, let me write one good phone number. We got some error. So the error which we were getting is now solved, and the error was really simple, and basically it was having this particular find unique. Okay, and let me just yeah, so now this was the error. So instead of find unique, here it should be find first. Okay, so whichever is the first, so it will not you know throw that particular error to us. So now it says the email already exists. So let me just change the phone number to 2, and now it should work properly. Invalid role specified. Okay, so here if you can see, we have the role in the small case. So either we need to make it capital case for the default one, and as well as for the normalized role, we need to make it uppercase. Uppercase, or let's make it uppercase. Okay, uppercase. So yeah, let me just hit this API. Yeah, user is created. So if you can see, we are getting this email verification token. Okay, basically this we should not give to particular user, but we are going to send this token to the user's email, so that a user can click via going to this their email account, and then clicking on this particular link, there will be a token, and that token will go to the deep links route parameter, and then we can call this verify email API, and then their user can create an account. Okay, like verify their email. So basically if we are sending it to the response like this, then if somehow user get this particular response from debugger, basically from app they cannot inspect, but if some device like rooted device have connected to the debugger or the chrome's API response store, and they get somehow this token, then they can bypass the email verification thing. They can just send this token to this email verify email API, and it will get verified even the email is not theirs. So this is how we should not do. So basically I'm going to remove this and add this particular like remove this from the service, and keep doing the application operation for the sending email in the service itself instead of controller. But let me just add it for this particular controller. So what I'll do, I will here write const email content. I have this email templates.js. So here basically some set of templates that I have written, and you can generate as per your needs from any chat GPT or perplexity. So here, if you can see, I have some booking confirmation, verification of the email, password reset email. Some functions are there, and it is written in this particular emails object. So basically, I'm going to use one of it, and basically, I'll just pass the username and email verification link, and whatever the needed things for this particular function. I'll just remove this, and let's use this. So here I'll use the email templates, yeah, exactly, and from there I'll just use this particular verification of the email. So let me just import it. Okay, so it's not letting me import email templates. Yeah, export is there. Let me import it. Exactly, it showed. Yeah. So if you can see, I have used basically this verification email, and what it does basically, let me show you. So the subject will be verify your email address, and then there is some HTML I need to show, and some copyright, and then some get full year verification link and the username, just to show that user's name. And I just put the user's full name, and here why I have, let me just show you the postman. uh, yeah. So if I go to the postman, I told you that we should not send this token to the user's response, but for the sake of this this particular video, I want to use this in this controller service, so we can later remove that particular key. So just to take that token into this sign up controller, so like use it, so I needed to send it. But what we can do, we can either use this particular snippet into the service file, which should send the email. But let's write it over here, and we'll change that. So what I'll do, if you can see, full name is fine, but this particular thing. So instead of this, what I'll just do, we just not need to send the token, but we also need to send one link to that user. Over here, what you can see, yeah. So I have added this local host, and then verify email and then token. Okay. So what user will do, basically user is calling this verify email API, which basically we have written over here, verify email. I'll just explain you that. Okay. And plus users email verification token, and then the expiration time. Okay, we are just passing to that particular function. But if you can see, verification email. Okay. Let me just see. Time, here we should take the time as well. Okay, which we are not taking. Yes. So here is the time we are passing as a third argument. And instead of this 1 hour, what I will just do here, I have some get rounded function. If you can see in the time.js. So I have this time.js and this get rounded time, rounded expiry time. I'll just use it over here. User.email uh, verification expires. Okay. I will need to import this, by the way. Yes, exactly. Now it should do the work. But there is again one more thing. We should use this await. Okay. So here, yeah. So this is something, send email. We need to pass users email, and then there should be, let me just write the object, and here there is two user, yeah, user.email, and the context, the subject should be emails subject, and then HTML should be email content.html. So how it is doing, if you go to the verification, then subject would be this subject, HTML would be this HTML. But what is this email, send email, right? So this is a function which we need to write inside the service. So I have added this email service.js. Basically, we are using a node mailer, and email templates. As you know, we have this particular email templates, right? And basically we need some test account in our env file. The host should be this smtp ethereal.email, and basically we are using the test account from nodemailer just to test our things. And this is a normal send email function where we need two subject html, and these are some helper functions which I have added for sending a verification email, sending password reset email, and sending booking confirmation email. Basically this is the exact code which I have written, but what it needs user and verification token. And yeah, it should work very properly. So let me just do one thing. If you go to this controller, we have this particular time as well, so we can configure time, and over here we can add a time. Okay, and then we can directly uh, await. Instead of writing this, now we can just await send verification email, and there we can use the user. Okay, and user will have the full name. If you can see, user will have full name, then user have the email, verification token, as well as get rounded by expiry time. Yeah, so now we are good to go. So what we will do, we will try this sign up service, and even in this log we should see the server is already running. Okay, so what we will do, let's go to the postman. Now let me try to create an account. So email already exists, right? So let's write some another email and just keep changing the phone number, because it will throw the error for the phone number is already registered. So let me try this phone number, and it will take some time. And let me see. Yeah. So once we got this success, so what is happening? Let me go over here. If you can see, we got this particular preview URL something, right? So this is basically let me just show you. So when we are sending the email, okay, so basically send verification email uses this send email function, and internally what it does, it sends the email, and once it checks that process env node environment, if it is development, then we are getting this preview URL. So what we need to do, we just need to copy and follow this link, and you can see this is how it will show to the user, welcome to car rental app. It is the user's name, which is my name, and then very thank you for registering, please verify your email address to complete registration. This is the link. Instead of localhost, there's going to be the that particular user's car app's address, as well as this particular API verify email, as well as the token which we can extract from the route. And this link will expire in 9 hours. So if you can see, this is particular error that we have got. So not a number, uh, right? That error is particular. Let me just add. So that is an error that we have particularly got. So let me just fix that. So send verification, we are sending user dot email verification expire. Let me see if it is accurate. Expires. Okay. Are we sending this when true and 3? Okay, we are having this user verification token and the exact time which we pass to this particular function, and this time we get over here and we are showing over here. Okay, so let me see what we can do over here. Get rounded by the time. Yeah, we can just log this and debug this right now over here. Console.log. Okay, now let's try to hit the API. It will not work, as you know the email already exists. So let me just change something and let me see the logs. Just because that NaN is not a number, let me see if we are actually getting it or not. Mm, If you can see, basically this function is giving us an hour, and basically this email verification expires is itself undefined. So that is the basic error. So go to the sign up service and check that why this particular thing is uh, you know not good. So let me just review this. So we are basically having this crypto, from crypto, then random bytes to string hex, expires, new date expires, set hours expires, get hours plus 24, return expires, and then okay, I think we are not returning over here. Yeah, now it should work properly. Yeah, so what I'll do, we'll just again try to hit this API with another user, another number. Yeah, so if you can see, over here we have 24 hours, so one day we have given. So let's follow this link and wait. So if you can see, the link will expire in 24 hours if you didn't create account, and once I click onto this verify email, I should be redirected to the next part. Basically I have not added any redirection link right now. So, and it will also not work because it is localhost. Okay, and it will show the email which I have added from the ethereal email, and this is the email to the email, and it is, by the way, let me tell you, it's not sending the actual email to this particular email. Okay, it is just dummy, it generates link just to test the emails. Okay, this is ethereal, and yeah, this is how it should work. So this was it for this particular video. In the next video, what we will do, we'll just make the remaining routes, which are, let me show you, verify email, how we are going to verify it, how recent verification reach the refresh token, as well as forgot and reset password. These are the things which are remaining, and after that we are just going to make the booking flow very robust, as well as there will be the avatar uploadation from the user, and many more things are remaining, and because it's going to be the SaaS product, a fully fledged functional end-to-end product. So yeah, that's it. Till then, stay safe, happy, and keep working on. And if you have any kind of doubts, then you can just join this Discord group where we are basically sharing each and everything. It is not much active because there are less members. Then if you can join and ask, I can help you. So yeah, this is it for this video.